Okay, market heroes, we're back, and today we're talking about something called a covered put. Now, a lot of these strategies that we talk about here, that we utilize every single day in Market Hero, are not strategies that you've ever heard before. The other side of a covered put is a covered call. That's a strategy that most of my students they have heard about before they came into this course, but 99% of them have never heard of a covered put. It's kind of the complete opposite. So let's dive right in, let's get to it, and let's figure out exactly the best time to do this strategy and when the best times to do the strategy are. So what's a covered put? So if you go back a couple lessons, or if you haven't watched a covered call video, please stop this and go back and learn about a covered call first. That's a more basic strategy compared to the covered put. But a covered call is selling one call for every 100 shares of stock that we own. It reduces our cost basis. It gives us a higher probability of success. Over time, it is a much more profitable strategy than just holding stock outright. So a covered put is the exact opposite. Instead of buying 100 shares of stock, we're going to look to sell 100 shares of stock. And for every 100 shares of stock that we sell, we're going to sell a put against it, right? Again, this is a bearish strategy now, right? So we're short 100 shares of stock. That means this is a bearish strategy. And we're also selling a put at the same time. What that we do with the put, and I'll show you here in a second, is the credit received gets added on to the price of the stock that we've sold. It improves our chances of making money and it reduces our cost basis, right? So we benefit from the strategy from a decrease in prices as well as a decrease of implied volatility. Remember, we're selling a put here. We're selling a put here. So if implied volatility decreases, the expected move decreases, thus the price of the option decreases, right? So this strategy allows us to be short stock while at the same time it reduces our cost basis by the credit we received when selling the put. So we're not going to get into a lot in this lesson right here, but this is a covered put is a staple in a lot of people's core strategies. And don't worry, we're going to talk a lot about core strategies in the future. Let's figure out what the hell a covered put is, right? So for starters, if we were just going to sell stock outright, 100 shares, right, we would just hit the bid immediately in SPY. And what we're going to do is we're going to just sell 100 shares, right? So we're short 100 shares of SPY at 25,491. So 254.91, right? Which means if SPY goes up 1 penny, let's say to 254.92, we're going to be a loser, right? If it goes down 1 penny, we're going to end up being a winner. That's a pure 50-50 bet. It's a pure 50-50 bet, and that's not what we're interested in doing, right? It turned out the covered call, the best strategy was to buy 100 shares and sell the 30 delta call. Let's see what that looks like with a covered put. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the expiration cycle closest to 50 days from expiring, the monthly expiration cycle. Right now the options are November, which is 34 days, or December, which is 62 days, right? So this is 12 days away. This one's 16 days away. So we're going to go to the December in 62, right? We're going to go to that 30 delta put, which is already highlighted here. So we're going to right click on it. We're going to analyze sell trade because remember, we're selling stock, and we're going to go to covered stock, right? So now here are our two options. The first option is just selling stock outright, right? Our cost basis when we sell stock outright is 254.90, right? When we sell a covered put, which again, we're selling 100 shares of stock, while at the same time selling a put against that 100 shares, our cost basis has been increased by about $2.08 or 9 cents to 257. So full $2 and change higher than right now. So again, our chances of making money are a lot better. Now let's go full circle with this. Remember, if we go back to delta, right? Delta is the chances an option is going to finish in the money at expiration, right? And if we know by selling stock outright right now, we have a 50% chance of making money. What happens? What happens if we go ahead and sell covered stock here or a covered put and increase our cost basis to 257, right? The way we can tell our chances of making money on this trade are we find the strike price for where our new cost basis is. That's 257. We go to the call side and we see that that has a 40 delta, right? 40 delta on a call says there is a 40% chance this option expires in the money. So this means, according to how everything is priced today, and today's a Saturday, but according to how everything is priced today, 62 days from now, the participants in the market in SPY, which is the most liquid product in the world, believe there is only a 40% chance SPY is going to be over 257, right? So if they believe there's only a 40% chance it's going to be above 257 62 days from now, that means there's a 60% chance they're not, right? And since we're betting sideways, we want to take that inverse, right? So if we were going to go ahead and execute this covered put, we would have a 60% chance of making money, right? So again, the difference here is selling the stock outright, we have a 50% chance of making money. But if we go ahead and execute this covered put, we're going to have a 60% chance of making money. That's what it's all about, right? It's all about continuously putting the odds in your favor. So again, there's a difference here. If we want to go ahead and sell stock outright, we're just going to hit the bid. This is a 50-50 chance of making money, right? Now, if we want to go ahead and execute a covered put, we're going to go down to the put that we're interested in selling. And we're only going to the 30 delta in this point because that's just an easy point of reference. We're going to right click. We're going to analyze covered stock, as you can see. So we're selling 100 shares like we're doing. We're just selling 100 shares outright. At the same time, we're selling a put against us. We collect that credit. It increases our cost basis. And since we're short and we want the stock to go down, increasing our cost basis is giving us more room to be right. It improves our cost basis and allows us more room to be successful and gives us a better chance of being successful. How much? About 10% more, right? So again, when we sell stock outright, like in this example here, we have a 50% chance of being right. When we sell stock outright and then sell a put against it, in this case, the 249 put, we have upped our chances of making money to 60%. And that's all this game is about, continuously putting the odds in your favor, right? So if you feel the need to go ahead and execute this strategy, and you do execute this strategy when prices are very, very high. So if we go to SPY right now, we'll see that prices have never been higher. Right? Prices have never been higher and volatility has never been lower. This is an excellent, excellent time to execute this strategy because there are greater odds that prices will go down before they go back up. There isn't enough volatility to move them higher, right? So we execute this strategy when prices are really high. Remember, we sell into strength and we buy into weakness. This is an excellent opportunity to sell into strength. One of the ways we can go about that, is buy a covered put, right? And instead of having a 50% chance by selling stock outright, now we have a 60% chance because we sold that put against it. Not bad, right? So that's what it is. So again, like all of our other things, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, what does the data tell us, right? So from 2005 to 2016, so 11 years of data in SPY. Again, SPY is the most liquid product in the world. And this data is really publicly pretty easy for me to get my hands off of and pay some of my employees to go ahead and do these studies, right? So we looked at three things, right? So the first thing we looked at is selling 100 shares of SPY. Right? An example of selling 100 shares of SPY is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to hit the bid. Right? We're going to hit the bid, and that's selling 100 shares of SPY. So that's the first thing we did. The second thing we did was we sold 100 shares of SPY and the at-the-money put. So the at-the-money put, or the 50 delta put, closest to 50 days from expiring, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to that put, the at-the-money put. In this case, is the 254 put. Right, so we're going to go ahead and right-click. We're going to analyze sell trade. And we're going to go ahead covered stock. Right. So now we look at this strategy. Our cost basis has been increased by $3.32 all the way up to $258.24. The chances of us making money on this trade are right around 65-66%. And the way I know that again is because our new cost basis is right around 258 and change, right? Right around 258 and change. So we go and find that option. That says, okay, here we go and find that option where that strike price is the same as our credit. right? Or the same as our cost on this. That's 258, right? So we're going to go ahead and say, okay, what's the inverse of 35? It's about 65, right? So doing this strategy, we're doing the at the money or the 50 delta or close to 50 delta cover put gives us about a 65% chance of making money. And the third thing we're going to do, analyze sell trade, covered stock, brings our cost basis to 257, right, to 257, and gives us about a 60% chance of making money, right? And the reason I know it gives us a 60% chance of making money is because there's a 40% chance that that SPY will finish this expiration cycle above 257. And the reason I know that is because the 257 call is a 40 delta, and I take the inverse of that, right? So 50% chance of making money when we just sell stock outright. 60% chance of making money when we sell stock outright and sell the 30 delta put against it. And about 65-66% chance of making money when we sell 100 shares of stock and sell the at the money put against it, right? That's all the differences. So we want to see what was the best. So what we did was we just held every single one of these to expiration, right? No trade management. We did trade management later on, but right now, no trade management. So let's see how we did, right? So we start in the left column, right? In that time, just by being short 100 shares of stock, which again, 2005 to 2016, 11 years of data, right? So if you remember 2005, we were up, and then 2008, we were way down, and since then we've gone straight up, right? So you lost about $8,000, right? Now, if we sold SPY and sold the at the money put every 50 days, which remember is this example right here where our credit is the highest or our cost basis is the highest. And again, cost basis being the highest is the best thing for us because we're short, we're betting directionally down, right? We again, on our 100 shares of stock, we lost about $8,075, but on our short put P&L, we made about $8,300. So net, that comes out to a positive $241. Pretty good. Then our third part of this study is we're going to obviously sell 100 shares and the 30 delta put every 50 days. Cost basis is not as high or advantageous for us as the 50 delta put in this example, but obviously it's much better still than the not doing anything, right? How do we do? Well, we still lost $8,000 or so, $8,000 on the short stock. We made about $6,200 just on the short put. Net, we lost about $1,800, right? So this is interesting. Just doing this strategy and not managing the trades at all, selling the at the money put against our short 100 shares of stock was the only strategy out of these three that was profitable. Remember, we've been in a bull market. We've been in a bull market for the majority of this study. So this makes sense, right? This makes sense. You are giving yourself the least amount of room and the least amount of profitability. However, the lower the profitability potential, the higher your chances of making money are. I know that's a little bit backwards, but it's true here. So let's take it a step further. Let's do the exact same things. This time, we're going to put them on for 50 days moving forward. And instead of just allowing them to expire on their own, and then only after they expire on their own, we sell another put 50 days out. What we want to do is we want to manage them back at 50% of the credit we received, right? And then if we were able to do that, we would immediately, as soon as we bought them back, go ahead and sell another put at that same original delta in the next monthly expiration cycle closer to 50 days. And if we never got to that 50% mark, we just allowed them to expire, right? So the example here would be obviously no management, just short 100 shares of stock. If we were short 100 shares of stock and short this 254 put, if the value of that put, let's see, it's 332 divided by 2, ever got to $1.66, we would go ahead and buy it back, go to the next monthly expiration cycle, closes to 50 days away, and go ahead and sell the next 50 delta put. And the same thing would happen for that 30 delta put, right? So it's about 208 right now. So if the price of that put ever got to say $1.04, we would buy it back and we'd go ahead and find the next monthly expiration cycle closest to 50 days from expiring, right? And we would go ahead and sell another 30 delta put there. So that, and if we were not able to buy those back at all, we would just let them expire and then go ahead and put on a new put. Here are the results. So obviously doing nothing is the worst, right? Not improving your cost basis is not great here, right? Now, let's look at the difference between selling the at the money put, not managing it, and managing it, right? So when we didn't manage selling the at the money put, again, we made about $8,300 in a short put P&L. So net, we made about $241. But if we go ahead and just manage the put, right? So we're doing the same strategy. All we're going to do is if that put reached 50% of max profit, we'd buy it back and sell a new one. If we did that, we made about 50% more in total just on that put alone. But our net was about 2,000% more. So rather than making about $241 total, we turned a bearish strategy in a bull market into a pretty nice winner, about a $4,700 winner. Pretty cool. And the same thing goes for the 30 delta put. On its own, without doing any trade management, it's not a profitable strategy. You lose about $1,800 net. However, net, if we manage it early, we make about $1,000, right? We make about $1,000 on the whole deal. Again, it's really cool for me to see because we've turned strategies that are bearish strategies. And what's crazy, again, is we did these bearish strategies in a bull market and we figured out how to make them profitable. Again, reducing our cost basis, or excuse me, improving our cost basis. I can't say reducing, improving our cost basis, right? Improving our cost basis over time has turned this bearish strategy in a bull market into quite a profitable strategy. So if you see something like SPY is today, SPY has never been higher, and volatility has never been lower, right? This is an excellent time to sell into strength. If you're going to go ahead and want to sell into strength here by executing a cover put, the best way to do it is sell 100 shares of stock and sell the at the money put at the same time, right? That is by far the most profitable strategy. So I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you on the next one.